Hey, AOH here. Just want to kind of touch base on the past couple of weekends. We had the beta weekends that we had, and I just wanted to sit back and absorb exactly what we experienced and kind of give an overview of the different character classes, what my thoughts were, and it might be contrary to popular belief on certain things, but all in all, I have to say Diablo 4 was absolutely outstanding. I love the heck out of the game. I've been a fan since Diablo 1, played Diablo 1, Diablo 2, Diablo 3, and now I'll be going into Diablo 4. Big things I want to talk about again are the classes for Diablo 4. That'd be the Druid, the Barbarian, the Rogue, the Necromancer, and the Sorcerer. And I just want to also touch base on kind of my overall thoughts of the game, the storyline, the quest, the side quest that is, and the events. First class I'd like to talk about is the Barbarian. The Barbarian, honestly, there's been a lot of heat thrown in the way of the Barbarian toward Blizzard. For me, I feel that the Barbarian is true to its class. The Barbarian's not going to start out extremely strong. Yes, he's got 4 different weapons slots, but however, he's not going to start out as strong as, let's say, a magic user. Because think about it in a weird sort of way. If you have a magic user starting out, they're not going to be able to control the amount of damage that they output because they can't fully control their abilities. So they're going to give that false sense that they're a little bit more overpowered than, let's say, the Barbarian. The Barbarian, again, he's true to his class. He's true to form. He's slow and steady, and he's building up his strength, his abilities as you go along and level in the game. And, just like what Blizzard put out there, not every class is going to start the same. And as they go up in levels, they're not going to appear the exact same. So I'm totally fine with that. I'd absolutely love playing the Barbarian. They have a very steady damage output, and the skills are very reactive. And like as soon as you hit the button, you have an outcome, and that's exactly what I'm looking for in the Barbarian. And the only thing that I have an issue with the Barbarian would be as far as damage mitigation. Yes, it does have different things in the skill tree that would mitigate damage, but however, it just doesn't seem enough. It kind of falls just a little short. And if Blizzard could do one thing, it would be just beef up some of the barrier system that they have and also reduce damage coming into the Barbarian, because he's going to be your forefront guy. He's going to be pushing through. He's going to be pounding away at the monsters, and you just want a very sturdy and sound class. I don't feel that they are very sturdy. I kept having to pop healing potions left and right. I definitely felt a little bit choppy on it, just in that aspect. Everything else ran smooth as far as the damage output. No matter if it was like bash or frenzy, it didn't matter. It's all up to your play style, and I do like that about the Barbarian. What I do hope that they don't do is have gear sets, that kind of manipulate the entire population to go with a specific build. That is what I am definitely hoping that will not happen. They said it won't happen, but however, the jury's still not out. My overall thoughts for the barbarian. I do like the class. If you haven't noticed, I do like the class. It is very fun for me to play. Um, as far as like durability, survivability, it gets a little bit choppy in the water sometimes. But overall, love playing the class. Next up, we have the druid. The druid, I was not a big fan of, honestly, because everything just felt really clunky. It wasn't fluent. Um, you kept trying to build resource just so you can cast off a couple of hurricanes or tornadoes, and it just felt so choppy, and your damage output just really wasn't there. Survivability the same way. Yes, you have like barriers, but the barriers are very lackluster. It was very underwhelming damage output. Um, in the different specs that I tried. I tried every single spec. Didn't get huge warm and fuzzies. Probably the best path that I would take would be like werebear. Werebear was the only viable spec that I saw coming out of the druid. But overall, I would have to say I was not impressed. I was very disheartened that the druid was the way the druid was. It wasn't anything spectacular. It wasn't the D2 druid. All in all, it just seemed kind of rough to play. And that was very disheartening. I was definitely looking forward to seeing what exactly the druid had to bring to the table in Diablo 4. Next, what we'll have to talk about is the rogue. The rogue, depending on which spec you went, you're looking at primarily melee or ranged. And the melee was absolutely amazing. Strong output of damage coming from the rogue, and the ranged a little choppy. I would personally like to play more of a ranged, hit them from afar, drop them class, but with the druid, it looked like the melee really stole the show. It it was extremely strong. Talking about mobility, oh my goodness! With the rogue, you were all over the place. You had a lot of speed, um, just a lot of agility, and you could get in and out of bad situations in a millisecond, um, which it was very enjoyable to play as well too. Diablo's not making it very easy, and Blizzard's not making it very easy to pick a class right now. I'm just putting that out there. Um, there's one thing that I definitely am kind of worried about whenever it comes to later in the game is damage mitigation for the rogue. Not really seeing much along the lines of damage mitigation. I don't know if it's one of those things that Blizzard just wants you to get out. Because later on down the road, your damage is not going to be as insane as we experience between the levels of 1 and 25. So, with that being said, I am kind of standoffish about the rogue just because of that. Hopefully, the range DPS from the rogue is going to match the melee side of the house as well. But overall, it was a good class, a very fun class, and I believe that it's going to be one of the fan favorites. Um, and when we shift off into like the Necromancer, I believe Necro is going to be another fan favorite. It has great versatility, and as far as specs, any spec is viable coming from the Necromancer. I was highly impressed with the way Blizzard set up the Necromancer. The Necromancer has to be the best character class in the entire game right now. It was very thought through, and just the builds themselves are just absolutely amazing. Do I expect a nerf? Entirely possible, but even if they nerf the Necromancer, I don't believe it'll be that much, if any. I don't think they should nerf any of the classes currently, just because, like what I said before, if you have a melee damage dealer, they should be putting out less damage per se by single hit, but at least be similar in the equivalency of taking down mobs. But with the Necro, again, I hope they don't nerf the Necro, because later on down the road we don't know how it's actually going to perform. Take Diablo 2 for instance. Diablo 2 Corpse Explosion was absolutely phenomenal. And then as you got toward in-game, higher levels, it lost its fever for the flavor. So time will tell. We'll find out whenever the retail version comes out in June. So all in all, great damage, great versatility. But as far as in-game, we don't know exactly what's going to happen with that. All looking forward to the Necromancer and playing it. It basically mows through everything in 0.5 seconds. So, all in all, 20 thumbs up on that one. They did an outstanding job with the Necromancer. Now, as far as the Sorcerer, very overpowered once you got the Hydra. I do expect a nerf from that one as well. Do I think they should? No. Because as you go up in levels, the monsters are going to go up in difficulty, resistances, and whatnot. So I do believe it needs to say about the same, because it's all going to equal out in the end. Very versatile in combat. Whenever you do your nice little teleport out, it gets you way out of damage way. And you're totally fine with dropping a Hydra, casting, whether you're going cold, fire, whatever you're going with. It doesn't matter. The class itself is very, very strong. And definitely do see, let's say, the Necromancer and the Sorcerer being the farmer classes of Diablo IV. They're the guys that are going to be gearing up pretty quick, just because they're mowing through everything like it's Swiss cheese. So I do like the barriers that the Sorcerer has. Gives a little bit of tankiness to them, but however, it also kind of goes back to the way I was looking at things before. The way I look at sorcerers, they should be your glass tanks. They shouldn't have as much barrier system than, let's say, the barb. The barbarian needs more, and we need to probably cut things down just a half hair with the sorcerer, because it makes them a little bit too strong for what they're actually meant for, and to kind of go into our thought process. But all in all, great character, fun to play. I really wouldn't change a whole lot with the Sorcerer, because you're running the risk of actually just making it a crap class. I mean, if you look back at World of Warcraft, mages, they used to be outstanding, dropping some serious damage but couldn't take a hit. Now they just can't take a hit and they have crap damage. So, it's a give and take on that one. So hopefully they keep the damage output where it's at and don't modify it, because we still have in-game, and who knows where that goes as far as damage mitigation on the monster side of the house and on the demons. Um, so all in all, again, outstanding class, love it, fun to play. Um, and as far as just my overall thoughts over the game, I know I said at the very beginning, I think it is amazing game. I love it. It's a breath of fresh air. Blizzard has done an outstanding job. Just from what I've seen, I can't really comment too much further because, again, we only went level 1 to 25 and only had the starter content. And things will definitely change. The map is huge. Um, Definitely heard it's even bigger than we expect. So, kudos to Blizzard. Outstanding job. Please, please, please uh, keep things the way they are as far as damage output. Except for the Barbarian, the only thing we need with them is a little bit more damage mitigation. That would be amazing. Storyline. I cannot say how much I love the storyline. It is awesome. And again, I'm not biased. I'm actually pretty critical whenever it comes to Diablo because this franchise, I've loved this franchise for such a long time. Wasn't a huge fan of Diablo 3. Um, it felt like they strayed a whole bunch and tried to do things that probably shouldn't have been done with the storyline, or not necessarily the storyline, but the character class, the set items, and just making it okay. Well, hey, if you're not this build, you're hitting like crap. So I do love what they've done so far with Diablo 4, and I am so anticipating its release in June. The side quests, they're fun. It's not like daunting, like, oh my gosh, go kill 1,000 boars. I know, thank you, WoW. But as far as the side quests, they're fun, they're exciting. I did have a little bit of a jump scare a couple of times. I wasn't expecting certain things to happen, and guess what? Bam, right in your face. And as far as the events that they have, I highly encourage everyone to take part in these events because, one, good loot and really good experience points. Uh, can't can't say it enough. It's probably the best thing that you can do in one of the faster way to get geared up and whatnot. And one thing I do want to bring up, not to spoil anything because everybody else has actually touched base on this, but the butcher, oh my goodness. I think I had the crap scared out of me about a bazillion times whenever he spawns. I'm like, oh crap, am I set up for this fight? You know, he is a bad mamma jamma, and he's definitely fun to uh, take down, and definitely not easy. So I love how they did that with the random spawns. The random spawns, they're absolutely amazing. I cannot say anything truly bad about Diablo. Yes, it does have certain bugs, but however, again, we're talking about open beta. We had a job, believe it or not. Yes, they allowed us the opportunity to come in and experience the game, but however, that is not the finished product. And I am truly hopeful for the game. And I do like that they really did test beyond the starter area, um, whereas before it seemed like they kind of didn't. And anything after Act 1 was just a little bit off whenever it came to Diablo 3. But I'm glad they tested more toward the end game, and I look forward to many thousands of hours of gameplay because that's what we want. We want to invest time in and come out with a very nice product. Thank you for listening and hear me just give my thoughts on the game, and also the different classes, touching base on them. Um, Again, I hope upon hope, the druid gets a little bit more love than what they've received so far, because it's a very amazing class. Same thing with the barbarian. And just make it true to the genre. So, thank you again. Thank you for listening to me babble on about things. And I'm going to be specifically going over content for Diablo 4, so you will definitely hear much more from me about different things with Diablo 4, going off of character classes, character builds, as we move into the release in June. If you like the content, please like and subscribe, and you know look forward to taking care of all your needs as far as Diablo 4. AOH out.